Hello again. Today we're going to discuss our fifth and final Broadway musical. This one is called Memphis, and it is from the year 2010, and it is loosely based on the life of a real person. There was a radio host in Memphis named Dewey Phillips. No relation that I'm aware of. He was a radio broadcaster, and he had a kind of a nonsensical catchphrase. When he was on the radio, he would say, "Hockadoo," and that was like his little hook that he didn't really trademark it, but the musical itself has a lot of great rock and roll influences, music from the 1950s, but really the musical is about racism. The main character is a white man, and he falls for a black woman. And in the 1950s in Tennessee, that was somewhat frowned upon. Yeah, you know a little bit about the history of our country, and you can see where that would be inappropriate at the time in that place. In the story, it starts out with the main character's name is Huey, and he's working at a department store, and he gets fired because he's playing rock and roll music over the store speakers in order to get more people to come into the department where he works. And it works. He gets a lot of folks to come in, but they tell him a few times to knock it off, and he doesn't, so he just gets fired. Later on, he's competing for a spot on this national TV show against Dick Clark, who ran American Bandstand. I don't know, you might not know what that is. Your parents probably do. Your grandparents definitely do. So Dick Clark was a real person. He always hosted when they would drop the ball in New York City on New Year's Eve, he would be the one to host that event. In the show, Memphis, there's a scene where Huey kisses his love of his life, and they do it on television. And that's not done back then. It just didn't happen. People would go crazy if they saw that happening. I mean, we've got riots going on right now with Black Lives Matter and all of that, but it didn't happen that early. There was a popular television show that had the very first black man kissing a white woman. That actually happened in 1968 on Star Trek, when James T. Kirk kissed Uhura. Yeah. So that in and of itself was pretty shocking at the time. A little bit more stuff. The music and lyrics for this show, Memphis, was written by a man named David Bryan. He was one of the founding members of Bon Jovi, along with John Bon Jovi. So, like I mentioned earlier, this musical takes place during the 1950s. So it was a time of, pretty substantial race relation problems, especially in the southern part of the U.S. Here is a little snippet of the show for you after the ad that nobody wants to see.
Grammarly can help. This sentence is grammatically correct.
Here we go. You can see a lot of this show on YouTube.
Someday I'll rip it right.
on this video you can see the little microphone in the center of her forehead. That's how they pick them up on stage. Alright, so you can go listen to the rest of that. Just click on the link on your Schoology page. And I hope you enjoyed a little taste of Memphis.